smooth right out. I'll take a moment. And there we go. Put that in there. Okay, so now remember our chocolate here. Oh yeah. See, now it's cooled off a little bit. Still very warm. But it's okay, it'll mix right in. It'll smooth the whole batter right out. Alright, I'm going to just pour it in gradual. Alright, look at that. Oh, don't that look yummy. Oh yeah, baby. Now we're getting there. Okay. So, we'll just let this continue mixing in. And before it gets all the way done, I'm going to go ahead and give it another full scrape. Now this is where we'll really find any little chunks of cheese if we have any left. Okay. And it's just a matter of getting all the way down. We want to just scrape the whole entire surface of the inside of this bowl. Okay. So there we go. That's nice. Okay, now I'm going to just use my finger here to clean off my spatula. And I'm also going to clean off the top right here. Okay, now we're going to just turn that right back on. Make sure that's all down into the mix. And look at that, isn't that beautiful? Nice chocolate cheesecake batter. Okay. Alright, here we go. So, I've baked a million cheesecakes in my life. Done coffee cheesecake, raspberry cheesecake, rum raisin cheesecake, any kind of cheesecake. Chocolate, I think, is my favorite. Along with maybe cappuccino. Cappuccino cheesecake is really delicious too. But I tell you, doing them in the cupcake fashion, it really takes a lot of the difficult things about cheesecake out of the equation. For one thing, it's just a small little thing you're trying to bake. So if you're going to overbake it, okay, it happens in a second, you know, right away. Okay, it's not like a cheesecake where, you know, you've got the timer working and it doesn't quite look right, but you hope that, you know, in an hour from now, as things cool down properly, it's going to be better. Well, you know, no. What you need to do is just make little cheesecakes, and then everyone gets their own. They can have 2, 3, whatever. It's all good. So I'm going to use just my cupcake pans. Okay.
Or in my case, 6.
Huh?
Or in my case, 6.
Okay, so basically we're just going to line them here. Now there's no need to spray the pan. I do not spray my cupcake pans because basically it makes it a mess, makes the outside of your paper a mess afterwards. And if you're careful about your scooping technique, you should never need to worry about that anyway. So, alright, so we'll do 8 of each. When I say of each, what I want to do here is give some of them a crust and some of them not a crust. And what I have here is basically some chocolate Oreo type cookies here. Because who doesn't like chocolate and Oreos, right? Okay, so we're just going to drop one of these guys in the bottom of each one here. Oops, that's a triple. We're going to have to eat that one. That's not right. Ah! Oh, we can't be serving that one.
That just breaks my heart.
Yeah, it does. Sure. Alright, so I want to do one pan with the cookies in and then one without. So here we go. Alright, now in my experience I've discovered that this blue scoop here is the perfect size for cheesecakes. Makes them a little bit small for this one, but I think it's going to be right on the money for those. And even though these are a little small once they're done, that's okay, because what it does is it leaves a space for like a topping where I can put like maybe a chocolate, maybe a strawberry, half a strawberry, like a fan, or maybe a chocolate truffle, or just a dollop of whipped cream with a chocolate curl, maybe a couple of raspberries, whatever you want to do. Alright, so there's that one. Notice I'm being very cautious to get it right level. Now these are going to look like they're overflowing, but trust me, they're not going to overflow. So theoretically speaking, these ones with the cookies in the bottom should take a few more minutes to bake than the other ones, but it's not going to take long to bake either of these pans. Okay. Alright. That last one going there. Okay. So we'll just save the rest of this batter for later. Okay. Now. Okay, so next thing we need to do, folks, is to turn the oven on, get it nice and hot, and then we'll be putting these little mini cheesecakes in the oven. But I'm also going to put a pan of water in there too, and that basically steams them. The old adage is to bake cheesecake in a water bath. I don't do that myself. I use a pan of water and I just let that steep in the oven, and it steams the cheesecake as it bakes and keeps everything within temperature wise. So that's what I do. So we'll turn the oven on and we'll be right back.
5, 4, 3.
All right, folks. So we've got the oven all heated up, and you'll notice when I put the cheesecakes in the oven that I've got a pan of water in there. I put it in as I started the oven up, so it's nice and hot and steamy in there now. We basically got a nice humidity tent going in there along with our oven. So if you haven't subscribed or liked the video, now would be a great time to do that. And if you want to share this video with your friends, now would be a great time to do that, and we'd really appreciate it. But in the meantime, back with our cheesecakes, the oven is set at 290, my normal baking temperature. Okay, now because this is cheesecake, typically speaking, I would want to bake at a lesser temperature. But because I have the water in there, I'm going to leave it as it is. Now, that is because I'm just doing these little mini cheesecakes. If I had a full-size 10-inch cheesecake going in there, I would absolutely be turning the temperature down with the water bath so that sucker can just bake nice and slow and come to temperature nice and gradual and even. The bigger your cheesecake is, the fuller it is, the harder it is to bake it properly. So you want to give yourself, every opportunity to have things come out right. In the meantime, with our just little mini cheesecakes here, I've got the water bath in, I've got the oven up high. We're going to bake them. It's going to take just a few minutes. I'm figuring it's probably going to take about 20 minutes total. If you compare that to our cookies that are usually about 12 to 14 minutes to bake, it does take a little bit longer, but simply look how big they are. You know, it's more than a cookie. So let's open up the oven, pop these in, and then we'll time everything to make sure that we have our times right, so that we can get back to you on just how long everything took. One moment. See the pan? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just pop this in like here. And this one over here. Okay. I got the fuller one on the lower. Okay. And my oven, I know my oven very well. The lower it is on the oven, the hotter it bakes. Okay. So up here bakes a little bit lighter than down here. Okay. So I have my smaller one up high. All right. Let's bake these, and taking a look at the clock, we'll be back shortly. Thank you. All right, folks, so these guys are done. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to let them rest. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Nice and humped over. See how they're just starting to crack a little bit. We've pulled them at the perfect time. So we're going to let these guys sit on the table now, just like the other ones. Now, it's been 3 minutes since we were last on the camera, and look how much these guys have settled even more. Okay, so as of now, these guys have been out of the oven for 7 minutes, okay, and now instead of looking like this, they look like this. Okay, so we're going to give these about 5-10 minutes, and they're probably going to end up looking about like this again, and then they should be cool enough that we can pull them out of the cupcake pans and devour them. Yes, thank you. Give us a moment, please. All right, folks, so it's been a few minutes since we've pulled our cheesecakes out of the oven, and it's time to give them a try. So these are the ones with the cookies in the bottom. These are the ones without. Which one do you want to try?
Cookie.
The cookie? All right, let's grab this one. I want to try them both. I want to actually
right, so we'll
cut into each one. Yeah, I want
to try each one.
I want to see each one here. Okay, so here's this one. All right, look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now once it's cooler, then it'll be more solid.
But we don't want to wait that long.
Okay. There you go. I must say that shell in the bottom, the cookie in the bottom, that makes a nice shell. You know, a nice something to hold on to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See how it's basically solid all the way through, kind of spongy, so to speak. Now this is still warm. Oh my goodness. Very good. Very good. Oh yeah. Now you can add a little fudge to this, some whipped cream, maybe chocolate curls or whatever. Maybe a couple of fresh raspberries. That would be nice. I think that the Oreo overpowers it just a touch. I think it needs a little fruit.
It adds a little bit of a crunch, though, which is really good.
I like that. And you can hold on to it, but I think it really does need something. It needs a little acid. It needs like a couple of fresh raspberries or maybe a strawberry or something.
Strawberry would be good.
Strawberry would be great. Even a couple of blueberries would be yummy. Let's try it. Let's try it without the crust.
Or maybe a cherry glaze.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Here, can you get that?
Try.
It's delicate. I mean, it's not set up yet, so it's extremely delicate. Oh, let's try that. Give that a whirl. I'm going to do it upside down, actually. Look at that. That's baked perfectly. Nice and spongy, but not overbaked, so to speak.
Oh, that is good, John.
Now, you realize that once this gets cold, it's going to have a completely different texture, which is going to give it a whole different taste as well. Oh, that's yummy. That is just so yummy. Delightful. So now, folks, as we were going through the process, I was telling Dan that I do think that it could have used just a few more chocolate chips in the mix. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely wonderful the way it is. But if I had used 1.5 cups of chocolate chips, it would be just a little bit richer.
Yeah.
Which would give it a whole different level, so to speak. So, you can obviously, add a few more chocolate chips anytime. So, I don't know.
Or for that, where you're talking about how the Oreo kind of overpowered it. What if we were to use, say, like a dark chocolate? Would that or would that be not enough? Or what?
Well, if you were going to use dark chocolate, I mean, we did use dark chocolate. Okay. I mean, if you wanted to use unsweetened chocolate, then we would need a whole lot more sugar.
Agreed.
Okay. Otherwise, we're like, that would be like too much. Okay. So, but I do think that if we were to add, I mean, look, I have. All right, so okay, we're obviously gonna share with the ladies. Okay, look at this wonderful fudge I have. I mean, you don't think they're gonna not want to,
Oh, my wife to be is gonna
do something
really
like
be
this?
happy when she sees that.
I mean, this now this takes the Oreo to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And now you add fruit to that. Now you're just
dynamite.
Now you're just, going into orbit. So
now you're just showing off.
Hey, you gotta let the chocolate show off, right?
I know. I just picking on you.
Show off, yeah. So anyway, well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed our video. I hope that you've learned something. If you haven't learned anything, I hope you've at least been thoroughly entertained. Just remember that, baking is special, and you got to just follow your heart with it, bake with love and joy, and if you do that, whatever you make, it's going to be delicious, no matter which way you make it, because it's going to be yours and your own. Anyway, God bless and happy baking. See you on the next video.